How's that? Okay. Hello. Whole hullabaloo. I know I'm 20 minutes late. My Streamlabs updated, and then I noticed that the mic situation was just being different, and like it was suppressed, and I don't know why, because I didn't put that on any of my filters. So I had to change the filters so that it could actually get loud enough to where I wouldn't have to actually physically yell. Because like I had everything pumped up like to super high, and I was like, I don't want to yell the whole time I'm talking. Because when I do art, I end up mumbling most of the time, so that's not great. Um, as the stream title does say, I need a mental break because after painting a lot, I need a different means or like mode of like thinking. So I'm gonna do some sketching, just some sketch work. I always say if you can make a mark, you can make art. So I'm gonna live that practice. And I'm gonna be doing just some sketching in my sketchbook using a pencil and then some Crayola Super Tips because why not? Oh, that's what I was gonna bring up. So I'm gonna switch the view right now. Yeah. So this is my old badge of Crayola Super Tips. My sketchbook. And then I use this big crystal pens. Sometimes I do have a zebra pen, but I don't know where I placed it. Zebra is also another, and it's not super expensive. It's like the ones I bought were like for a 2 pack, it was $5. I liked how fine the pen mark was though, but I can't. I misplaced it. I misplace stuff all the time. So whoops. Um, you have some clips. I do have clothespins too, so I could just use those. No, I can't. This sketchbook is thickums. I may have to adjust. Oh, it did the thing. Oh, yep, I know it. It just redid the settings. Okay, so sorry. Let me get it to focus on this. One second. I just want to make sure this fits. Turn off auto. So that works. Apply. Okay, so that should be better. Um, Sorry about that. Streamlabs be annoying. So I'm gonna do some sketching. I use Pinterest for most of my references, and I want to practice drawing bodies and faces. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on today with a different approach from what I usually do. I usually try to get this to lay more flat, so I'm scooching that over. Scooch over a little bit more. There we go. So I usually draw like a mannequin and then the features around the like larger shapes, and I've been once or twice experimented with like drawing the shapes more and the contours more and focusing more on that. So that is what I'm trying to we go. That's what we're going to be working on today. And just set up real quick. There we go. Ooh, faces, yay! Oh, start with her. Hi, how are you doing? Curio Crow? Curioi? Curoi? Cur Curoi Crow? I tried. Sorry. It is cute. Yeah. How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. I'm just getting started. I'm gonna draw this face and other things. Oh. Oh, okay. So, Kuro, I means like, oh, that makes, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I don't speak a lick of Japanese, if I'm going to be right honest with you. So, kind of messed that up. So, I am looking here and like Kuroi. Okay. Kuroi. Okay. Kuroi Crow. Okay, Kuroi. Awesome. I'm starting out with the big shape here. Make this very big. Whoops. Yeah, I know what crows are. Crows are birds. Yeah, they're corvids. I know that. um, I don't really have a whole lot. I just like any kind of art or painting and drawing. It's kind of what I do. I like knitting, crocheting. Don't know if that's necessarily interesting. Depends on what you mean by interesting. What do you find to be interesting? I failed an art class in high school and I'm not artistic. I don't believe that. It's gotta get creative. Even if you failed an art at high school, it's just like if you can create something with your own two hands, why not? Just for the joy of making something, whether or not it turns out good or not, you know? Proportions are off. It needs to be lower. So I enjoy art. Just like making stuff. I've dabbled in pretty much a lot of different things. Oh, League of Legends. I like talking to people eating food, wondering about unsolved mysterious things, and kind of video games, usually League of Legends. Yeah, I don't play a whole lot of video games, but that's because I don't have the patience to. I think the term is get good. I don't have the patience. I'm not quick with it. So I died real fast, real quick, real easy. And I don't have the patience to get better. So I don't. And it's just really funny. Whenever I played with my friends, I was always their handicap. Right, get good. I play with my friends, and they're like, "Oh man, you're trash." I was like, "Yeah, I know, but I'm still here. I'm still here, and having a good old time." I think the funniest one was, I think like we were playing like Call of Duty or something like that. This was before, I think this was like PS3 or PS2 versions, and I like fell off of something and killed myself like four times and within like one match. So my friend was like, "How? Why? How? How did we do this?" I was like, "Yeah, my bad, my bad." He just laughed so hard, but I still had fun. I am drawing very lightly. This barely looks like her at all. It's fine. I don't have any friends, but I do get people like you on my team. I'm playing with high rank people. Yeah, I haven't played in a very, very long time since high school. The last time I played any kind of video game was 15 years ago. I don't own a console or anything of the sort, but I enjoy. Her eyes are kind of crazy looking right now. I think what was the last game I played? Oh, I don't remember. Well, I do. I did play. I think it was Smash Bros. I was not good at it. It was at a party, so everyone had brought their stuff, and I was just there. They're like, "Come on, play," and I was like, "Sure," and I died instantly. So it's a good time. I made her eyes too big, so she kind of looks like Ursula, and that was not intentional. Whoops. Slim down her face a little bit more. I picked Kirby because I was like he's soft and squishy and it makes me laugh. I died a whole lot, so I had a great time. I was like, wait, what buttons do I push? And they're like, oh, you gotta push this one. And I was like, okay, if you say so. Pushed it, died. At one point, I fell off like three times, like off the platforms. So I was like, oh, right, you're not supposed to fall off the platforms. That's not what we're trying to do. They're like, no. It was still fun. I still had a good time playing with my friends and making silly jokes. I don't threaten my opponents. I look at them with big eyes and say, don't kill me. I'm going through here and I'm slowly pressing harder as I'm getting even more finer details. Her face is a lot softer than I drew it. I'm gonna be honest with it. And then I was Princess Peach, and when I discovered whenever she kicks, she lifts up her skirts, it made me cackle. So I was like, yes, this is the life I want. Hike up the skirts, kick your enemies, kick them hard with your heels. And I kicked like three people, and I thought that was a success. I'm not very competitive by nature. I'm here. these wispy hairs here. And I've yet to go in and do shadow work, which I'm going to do right now. It's going to look a little bit cray-cray for a minute. Hang on tight. So this goes here, and this here. Adding shape, or more or less volume. It needs to be. And are Hobby Lobby and Michael's like being a Jedi or Sith to some or a Sith to some people? I don't think so, because my understanding of like, oh, her nose is narrower. That's why. Like Jedi's and Siths are like warriors and fighters and stuff. And like Hobby Lobby and Michaels are just a supply chain. They're merchants. Like they don't really artists will use whatever is available to them or near them. So I'm not sure on that analogy. I'm going to be honest with you. At least that's what I think. I don't think they're really like an enemy per se or a hero. It's really a supply chain. And I frequent either, dependent upon what is available and what I need. So a lot of nuances. Hear about a fake plant from them? Yeah, I buy fake flowers all the time. From both. Depends on whoever has the best sell. This is a little bit off, but that's okay. I'm just practicing. Because I like it also depends on what your medium is, especially as a crafter and stuff. Like if you use um, a lot more fabric stuff, then you might be more uh, might end up going to Joann's more than Michael's. I know Michael's does have fabrics, but I think the fabric available at Joann's is just a more variety. But I always say whatever place has the best deal is the place I shop at. It's not really a loyalty thing. And I also think Joann's and Michael's are I think they're owned by the same parent corporation, if I'm gonna be honest. And Hobby Lobby. I honestly don't really shop at Hobby Lobby because it's just not a convenient spot for me to go to. I have to go out of my way to find a Hobby Lobby in my area versus there's like four Joann's and three Michaels within like a 10-minute drive in all directions. So I just can't be bothered to go anywhere else. And then I bet everywhere is owned by the same giant company. Well, not everything is. There's some major competitors, but and then there are some indie shops. You just have to like search them out and seek them out. Um, but buyouts do happen in corporate places and everything. So they have like Frito Lay company manufactures majority of the snacks. But then the competitors like Little Debbie and Hostess and Kellogg's. Those are like the major snack corporations in America. And then you have um, soda and stuff. So it's kind of the same, even like with clothing. And there's a difference between like distributors and manufacturers because a lot, even like in like if you wear or use makeup, there are only a certain amount of makeup manufacturers in the world and their formulations and all that. Like most cosmetics places are made in the same place in the same factory. They just have differing um, formulations, which does make sense. Just over time, you know, just being aware. Um, and my I do have an interest in like cosmetics and stuff like that. My mom works in manufacturing, and this curiosity, I would look things up and see. But I did take like one or two business courses when I was in college, but that wasn't my focus. Oh, just amassed knowledge as I learned about different things and learn about different hot topics, and you start to see who's making what, with whom, and where. Especially when it comes to cosmetology. So it was just like very interesting to try and figure out and learn how to get like hair products and where they're sourced and how they're made, and then how in the US cosmetology is taught. There's a hot topic at the mall near me. Oh, a hot topic, yeah. I don't usually me and Hot Topic have an interesting relationship because they have some of like the what's it called? I like collecting like figures and like they have the merchandising and licensing to distribute copyrighted images, such as like Disney, Polly Pocket, whatever. So I like their stuff, but at the same time, sometimes I'm just like, oh, it's not even worth it. And I think so. I like them, and I like Boxed Lunch is um another corporation. I could be wrong, but I think Box Lunch and Hot Topic are this have the same parent company. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. I am slowly building on all of the shapes and refining as I go. Yeah, I think it's called box lunch, but I could be misremembering. But I think it is because they it's the same stuff, but it's different. Yeah, so it's similar stuff, but it's similar to Hot Topic. This their overall aesthetic and marketing is like less punk, more pop. Does that make sense? Versus if you like, yeah, because like they have the same similar stuff, but their mood is more. Let me see. Ha, it's already asked. Yeah, yeah. So it's owned by the same company. I was right. Hot Topic was founded Box Lunch. It's fan merchandise, so it's just like, but it's different vibes. So like Box Lunch is more like preppy in my feeling versus like Hot Topic is you get a lot of the plaids, the grunts, the piercings, all of that jazz kind of thing. So and in the mall in my mall they're like usually in the same building and like down I was gonna say down the street, but it's down the hall. Down the mall hall, if you will. So um and I like Hot Topic because they usually get cryptozoic figures, and I like those. They usually get those in. Get her eyebrows too high, so I don't know if you've seen them, but Cryptozoic is like a brand. Yeah, so it's these dolls. I don't own all of them, but I do own this one, the Black Canary, and I have Mira, and I do have actually I think I have all three of these. Yeah, because I like the figures. They're really cute. So I have them there in my display case in my living room. So Hot Topic though has their own exclusive with them. So like the Halloween, I have the like anything. I think Funko Pop, Cryptozoic, and a lot of figurines have exclusive runs for particular stores. Like you could only get Barnes and Noble exclusives of a certain Funko Pop or a certain exclusive. So I have like um, and then it's just also more convenient to go pick it up versus dealing with shipping. Because I was dealing with porch thieves. But a couple of these, I do have the New York one, and these ones were only Hot Topic exclusives, like that color run. So if you want that, then you can get it. But that's what I end up uh, getting. I have ordered a couple online. It's more convenient. Yeah, porch thieves are really bad. Um, so I oh yeah, I made her eyes too big. Whoops. So I end up keeping and just I prefer shopping in store for the most part because of like the cost of shipping and all of that. I'm gonna run through here. little bit of rosiness on her cheeks. I also prefer shopping in store so I can see exactly what I'm buying and support physical businesses. Yeah, that's so true. I do that too, and I also like to not only see what I'm buying, um, but feel it. Like, feel the weight of the object and get its size because they can have dimensions online, all of that, but it's never quite exactly the same as getting it in person. And get some gray. Do I have a favorite anime character? Ooh, Oh man, I think what will forever be in my heart is Trigun. I like because he's such a like a little soft boy guy. I think he will forever reside in my heart. Um, I I think that's what would make my favorite. I'm trying to think of what other animes that I really really liked that I was like, oh, um, I think um, yeah, Owl from what's it called? Oh, my brain just had a brain fart. It's not what is Full Metal Alchemist. His brother, Owl. He's just such a sweet. I like sweeties, so I, so I like Owl. And then I also like Soul Eater. I like Maka from Soul Eater, and what else? Any more darks here? I'm gonna add just a transition. Oh no, yeah, yeah. It was like characters, but then I hate how they die or change later, and it ruins them for me. Yeah, that's true. What other? I I used to be in love with like Inuyasha, and then that was like when I say used to, I mean used to, right? Um, but it's been a minute since I've watched it and I rewatched it, and that's not terrible or anything. But yeah, that like just kill him off and it wasn't worth it. It's like you could have did something better with their death, or they die for stupid reasons, and you're like, really? Is that what we're doing? This image is a little bit hard to draw because of how light the shadows are, so I am exaggerating the shadows even more at the moment. I also cry when like characters die. I I cry. It gets me. It's like you know what's coming. I'm still a big crybaby though. Big girl tears over here. Even like non-anime stuff, like Harry Potter or when Dumbledore passed away. I was distraught. I'm gonna put some green in around her because it just will look nice and it will actually crisp up these shapes a little bit. And it's a nice um, juxtaposition to her red hair and the overall redness of the image. I'm picking a green. And I think, what was the one where I was like, oh my goodness. I don't remember the last anime I watched, if I'm gonna be honest. I go through phases, like I'll watch a whole bunch and then not. I think it was oh, I forgot the name of it. What's it? It's when and I got one a guy, he's blonde, he's an assassin and he adopts a little girl for his assassin gig and then hires like a person to be his wife and she's also an assassin. But they both don't know they're both assassins and the little girl can read minds. But I forgot the name of the show. I genuinely can't remember the show. Like Pain from Naruto and Shinobu from Demon Slayer without spoiling that. No, it ruined them for me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, that was bad. That was very bad. I think that's the character I'm thinking of, especially for Demon Slayer. I was mad. I was so sad it made me mad. Oh, yeah. 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 Well, what's the one? Sometimes, and I like, you don't have to hit this hard, you know? You don't have to hit me in the feels this hard. That's. Yeah. It's very true. Sometimes you just feel it and you're like, ooh, like, what was the. Oh, it was Spy Family. That was the show I was talking about. Wow. I got there eventually, but cheese Louise, cheese and crackers. Oh yeah, her face is so lopsided. Oops. I can just tell eyes aren't right. But I can't fix them. I laid them down. one, this should be smaller and not crooked. Whoops. Go back. Let's do this person. This one's fun. Um, yeah, I did. I was like, wait, what is it? What is it? What is it? I couldn't I couldn't get my hand I couldn't get it out. I couldn't get it out. It was stuck. You know, sometimes it be like that. Put it in a line of action really quick. Honestly, that's a little bit too much tilt. I'll bring that foot forward. And I compare everything to my favorite things, and whenever I watch or read something, I feel like, meh, 3 out of 10. I usually just watch something for the sake of watching it. I watch the same stuff over and over and over again too, but half the time I don't compare stuff. I'm just I'm there for the ride, you know. It's all makeup. It's all make believe. So I'm just there for the ride, and whatever they're gonna put the effort in to give me, like I receive it, and it's a little bit big. All right, I think the yeah, that head's a little big. Whoops, I'll fix it. The only thing I do comparisons usually for like media is like things in the same series. I watched a K drama recently called Itaewon Class, and it's good for like however many seasons, and then all the characters change completely changed, and it made no sense. Sometimes that they do that, and I'm like, what? I watch. Sometimes I'm like, I must have missed something. Okay, but a lot of the stuff I watch halfway because I'm either drawing or um, at work doing my day job. So I'm half paying attention. I do like a good documentary though. This is still too big, but that's all right. Sometimes I'm like, what? How? How did we get here? I think what was the last thing I watched? Right now I'm practicing. Most of my stuff is um, gouache and watercolor paintings of animals or fantastical scenes and stuff. But right now I'm practicing drawing. So I like to practice drawing random subjects that I don't usually draw. You can't really get better without practice. And I find throwing myself into new subjects and trying to figure out how I would render them helps my drawing skills. So I can draw like a flower or what have you. Um, and then also drawing from references helps to change up your approach to things. At least that's how I do it to become a well rounded. My handwriting is mediocre at best. Half the time my mother calls it chicken scratch whenever I send her a note. She's like, that was what? I was supposed to be able to read that. And I'm like, magic. That's how. But it works. I also write really, really fast. Like when I say really fast, I mean I write. The reason why my handwriting is bad is because I don't take the time to write out each letter, so things are missing parts, and I don't care. I'm like, it gets the message across for the most part. Like, do you know what I wrote? And my mom was like, I guess. And I'm like, yeah. So that's what matters. But most of my job is typing anyway, so handwriting doesn't matter. And she's a little short, short. Go from the legs. And you draw this your signature. It's the most beautiful. I mean, if I wanted to get into calligraphy, I bet I could figure it out. But that's an art form in itself. And my art itself tends to lean towards more of a looser, looser impression style. It's not hyper realistic in any way. I am just trying to get the overall impression with a level of detail I am comfortable drawing. Like I'm like, that looks good enough. Um, and going from there. My mind is blown. I'm glad. So that's what I tend to do is get an interpretation and fine tune my eye to picking out the information. These sessions, when I sketch in my sketchbook, it's not dedicated to making a specific image, but instead fine tuning my draftsmanship. It's really about honing my eye and perception into what details are important to relay the image, um, and what details could be lost. I never thought it could be English. There are a lot of people who do English calligraphy. Um, they make really nice fonts. It's like hand lettering. They make really nice fonts in English and stuff. The different hand lettering techniques that people use to make really cool signs and all of that. The way I draw is not something that I do. Because even this backpack, it has a lot of different details and pockets and I'm scratching in a feel of what goes where. What is your goal after learning all the drawing things? There's no goal. The goal itself is to learn to draw better. That's the point. It's the process. That's why I do it. Not for the end, but the journey, you know? Cuz I enjoy making pictures and images and being able to draw whatever my heart desires. It's not really, I don't really have an end goal to anything when I do this. There's not a stopping point for the learning. It's going to be a always learning, always fine tuning, trying new things kind of thing. I enjoy the process of making images, of figuring out how to wield a pen and make marks in a way that makes a picture and how that looks, different styles and techniques available, and the different textures and how it can make a viewer feel. And that satisfaction of when you finish a piece, you're like, I did that. Like I did that with my own little fingies. You know, I'm the total opposite. Yeah, there are some people that I totally understand, and I think sometimes it's like I have goals in other places, and I'm very strategic, and I journal and bullet journal and have different things when it comes to my own work and jobs and stuff. And even with my own art, I do have different goals when it comes to making money or earn a living. But the actual learning process itself, the actual making art itself, I don't think that will ever be a done. I don't think there's ever an end for me, because the goalpost, even in my own mind and my own heart's desire, moves. Because I'm like, I see something or see another artist's work, and I'm like, this is beautiful, and I want to try it, right? Just for the sake of trying, and I'm like, why not? And I don't care how it turns out or what it looks like. I am just making the things to make the things. So I enjoy the making of things. Kind of like when I make a cake or try out a recipe for the first time, you know, and you try it out. And you're like, you know what? I don't know if this recipe is going to turn out good. I don't know if it's going to be the best thing I've ever had or if it's going to be the worst. But I'm going to try making this recipe and see what happens. It may be the worst thing I've ever eaten in my life, but it was fun trying to make it. I find goals, there's always a place for goals and doing things. And sometimes you just gotta make something because you want to make it and just do the thing just to do the thing. Not everything has to be the best of the best or the greatest of the greatest. I think if you wait to be great at something in order to allow yourself to do it, I think you're cutting yourself off of the joy and opportunity of trying new things. So why not just go for it? Can't see the bottom shoe, so I'm gonna make it up based off of the top shoe. So we're gonna put that, yep, there we go. Even with food with me, I can't be bothered to go through all the recipe and spices, 15 minutes, then blah blah blah, because in my brain, if I'm hungry, most food will taste good and it'll be gone soon anyway. So no reason to waste lots of money, lots of time making it. Yeah, I can understand that perspective, but I think also there's something to be said just to give yourself time to enjoy something for the sake of its own existence without it having to be some kind of goal or something like that, whether that's art or food or reading a book or what have you, just to do something to do it, and that's it for its own sake, you know. And I'm not saying doing that with everything, because being utilitarian is also important so that things and productivity can, get done and be done. But at the same time, I think you can lose a lot of joy if you're looking and seeking for everything to be productive. Because it should, be a balance. At least in my humble opinion. Because there are moments where I make the same 5 meals a week, like I have, my standard fare for breakfast, my standard fare for lunch and dinner. But sometimes on a weekend, I have a recipe book and it looks really good. And then I want to try and make it just to make it and go through that process and understand the different nuances and techniques that are involved in making something tasty, you know? And then come out on the other end. And when it does turn out good, it feels so good. You're like, oh, I did a thing and it actually came out great. Yes. Do a little happy dance and eat your little snack. Like the first time I made bread. The first time I ever made bread from scratch was so fun. It was so fun. And I could buy pre-made bread at the store all the time, but it was just so interesting and wild to understand the process and see what yeast does and leavening and why the different fat to to protein to water ratio can yield a different result and make things taste tougher or weirder or dry and not flavorful because you didn't wait long enough. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then the look on my sister and mom's face when I sent them a picture. Like we are on like a family chat with video, and I was like, "You guys, I made bread," and they're like, "What?" And I showed them. They're like, "Oh my god, that looks so good! Send me some." And I was like, "It'd go bad in the mail," but I was like, "I did it though. I did it. I did the thing." So I think there's value in taking that time to do that, to slow down and to do something new you've never done before for the sake of doing it. It was really fun. Sometimes I haven't done it in a minute, but I might. Sometimes I'll watch different um, cooking shows, like on YouTube, like YouTube videos, different baking and stuff. And I'm like, ooh, I want to make one of those days. Okay. One of those layered, complex desserts with the different creams and mousses and the cookie base and all of that. It's gonna happen one day. I'm gonna make one, and it's going to be marvelous. And I'm gonna hoot and holler for joy when I do. At this time, mhm, yeah, I read somewhere that different Roman Empire during the Roman Empire, different people knew how to make Euros breads, but they were like family recipes that died along with those families. And after the Roman Empire fell, people didn't learn what made bread rise until the 1800s. Yeah, it's interesting things and a thing to consider what is actually traditionally kept versus lost, and what is archival versus not. Even like speaking within art terms, of certain things, because certain mediums are more fugitive than others. Like I mostly work in paper craft, and that is more fugitive because paper is weaker than canvas. I think there's also like a known thing, like the recipe for concrete is still not quite known to current um, modern society. While like the Roman Colosseums and all of those different things have standed the test of time and don't break down, but our own roads, you know, have been being exposed to lesser dire conditions close, like they're close to the sea, the Colosseums, and they're still standing pretty strong and doing very well, and they're still trying to figure out why this is happening. And even so, like if you look at like some cooking like I call them shows, but cooking channels. I love cooking. That's one of my things I like. But on YouTube, and when you look at them, even like the Great British Bake Off, when they refer to old recipes and they have different measurements and stuff in them, what a measurement of a cup is back then versus now could be different. And most, if you think about it now, currently, a lot of recipes say like use one egg, but doesn't specify what egg. The default is like chicken egg. But if you look into history, like say something happens and over time we phase out as a society using domesticated chickens, or they something happens and they're no longer in use 1,000 years from now, when you say one egg and they're like, what do you mean by egg? Like that'll be an interesting thing to see throughout, as time goes on. Like Kitchen Numbers with Gordon Ramsay. Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay is an interesting reality show, but I don't really consider it. I think that's more reality TV than about the cooking itself. It's more about the relationship dynamics between a business owner, their staff, and how they um, do their business versus the actual food. Um, in my opinion, and I do like Kitchen Nightmares, but I I think that's more of a reality TV show that has cooking adjacent stuff to it, but I don't think it has anything really to do about the cooking. It's more about the relationships because they don't really focus on the food. Um, versus like something like Hell's Kitchen, where they are very much in those reality TV show. They are focusing on the recipes and how chefs like do taste and stuff like that and flavor, or even Top Chef, or like the British Bake Off, where they're focusing on how to bake and the different recipes and the history of recipes and where they come from and stuff like that. I feel like when the food is not bad, he always says it's bland because there's nothing specifically bad about it. Yeah, because I think in like when it comes to food, there could be an array of reasons why something is bad or not good, and like I think the oscillation is between whether or not something is bad because it's inedible, bad because it's dangerous to eat, or bad because it lacks flavor, or bad because the textures are wrong because people didn't understand the ingredients they are using to make the thing. So there's like a plethora of ways, a plethora of ways. You know, a food or a dish could be bad or bland or not good or not seasoned enough. Sometimes it's just like lacking salt. You can put all the spices in something and put no salt, and the salt helps lift everything up to give it flavor. It's a whole thing. I like food. And I like to cook. I've been cooking for a very long time. I'm a home cook, not a professional chef. I just like to cook. I've been since I was a wee little girl. Lots and lots of browns. So I'm gonna take this one. I think I'm gonna mix the blue with this to get that. And then this one to get the green. Yeah. Bye. I think my favorite is the British Bake Off. That one's one of my favorites. It's overlooked. Paul Hollywood. It's overlooked, mate. Oh, this is not. This is a lot more orange than I thought it was gonna be. Oops. Doesn't really matter. I think the what's the other one I was watching? Where I was like, that food looks delicious. Oh, the anime Food Wars. Oh, love that. This the drawing of the food is really good. Do I believe in ghosts? I eh, yes and no. Have I encountered a ghost? Like specifically, I don't think so. But also, um, I'm not gonna tempt fate and try and seek them out, especially if like a place is haunted. You know, like if I go somewhere and a guy from like the dude in the mummy is like, this place is cursed. I'm like, okay, I believe you, and I walk away. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna seek out some place that's no, we're not gonna do that. I don't know if you've seen the mummy with Brendan Fraser, but it's pretty good. This place is cursed. Everything is cursed. Hello. Ugh, this thing. It might be dying. So let me see if this will work. Boop. Okay. So I plugged it in. Hi. My mic died. I This thing is the bane of my existence. I'm gonna be honest. I might have to get like a corded one or something because this is not it. It's really not it. Um, yeah, but I do like, I do like the mummy. It's pretty dang good. I've seen all of them. I think there's like three. And I'm like, yeah, this is where it's at. Should probably put the reinforcing some shadows here. Have you seen all three of the mummies? I think it's like the Mummy Returns, and then another one is in China. Like they fight. The mummy is not in Egypt anymore. I think it. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, okay. And they changed the actress who was playing his wife, Edie. I think it's Edie or Eve. No, I'm bad at names. Yeah, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Yeah, yeah. That one, not my favorite. I'll be honest, not my favorite. But gets the job done. Yeah, it was. So that's when I compare them. Like, it didn't have the same. I'll compare movies to like their sequels and stuff. And so it didn't have the same like fun, it didn't have the same level of fun and random. It just felt like the story was just like poorly not good. Versus like watching all the things on National Geographic. Oh, I haven't I don't have a Nat Geo subscription, so I haven't seen a lot. They do a lot of stuff usually too. Is it good? Did you learn anything like new or fun or interesting? My parents have an ancient thing called cable. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have cable. I'm like, I'm not paying this. But around where I live, the cable rates are so just ridiculous just to get basic stuff. I'm not paying that. I refuse. So I don't think that works. Oh, that's awesome. I gotta love I grew up on PBS, or the public broadcasting station in America here, and they have a lot of different documentaries and stuff like that. So like nature, the nature documentary, Nova Science Now, and all those different things. So I watched a lot of that growing up as a kid. Is this off? This feels off. Oh, is this because it's darker more? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's always fun. Prehistory and like inclusion of time and stuff. How we count it and calendars and where stuff comes from. That's always a good fun time. I think I'm the same color, but I'm pressing very hard to make it deeper. This one, I'll use red around it, because why not? Um, if you can remember every time after time, if you want, I'll get you, I will wait you. I think the Last docu. Oh, I was watching. Because I was like, if we both lived in ancient China, I know you'd be all up on the tomb drawing and stuff. Probably, I'm probably like a hieroglyphic person. Yeah, just drawing and stuff. And all of the art things. I think. I think. What was the last thing I had like No, that's not. I was thinking of another random fact, and I was like, that's not accurate. Let's not say that out loud. I did end up going to there's a museum in Brooklyn that has some stuff in ancient Egypt that was pretty cool, and looking at like the different beads and jewelry and hair adornments was really pretty cool. This marker is kind of dying. I've had these markers for a very long time though. It's to be expected. I think I recently did watch the on Netflix they have the Our Planet series. That's always really fun watching that. It's like a documentary about like the different animals. I really like that one. Yeah, this one's drying out. Ooh, ooh. That's all right. And then let's see what else can I draw. You say go slow. Dun, 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 dun. I picked it, so let's go with it. I have the time before I will catch you. I will be waiting. I have the time. I have the time. Well, we have interesting head here. Go slow. I have it stuck in my head now. I think I'll do one of these. Have you seen Doctor Who? That's one of my favorite shows. They travel in time. The Time Lord. I haven't seen the newer seasons, but I've seen a few. It's been a minute though. Doing this kind of the old way. And then Yeah. I have not seen Doctor Who because it's old, has so many episodes, and is British. I could just watch Harry Potter, which is new British, only has 8 movies, and has time travel. Well, that's true. I think I have Harry Potter. I own all the stuff. Came out when I was in elementary school. Oh, that's why the nose is wrong. It's wrong again. Where's that nose? Yeah. If you could learn any language, which one would you choose? Um, any language? Right now, just because of utility, it would be most likely Spanish because it's one of the second most spoken languages in my area. And then it would most likely be a language from each language family for my own catharsis. Because I love languages, I find them to be very interesting. But instantly learn and know, I would do a Spanish. I only know a few phrases in Spanish. Yeah, I used to know a lot more than I do now because one of my first jobs was working in a grocery store, and so I had to, I didn't have to, but helping customers and knowing like different language was useful, especially for finding and locating different items and stuff. It was very helpful. Understand what they're asking for if I actually speak the language. And then, so I knew like mostly grocery store items like eggs and water and different produce items. But not so much anymore. I haven't worked in a grocery store since I was 17, so 13 years. I haven't worked in a grocery store for a very long time. think you must have a lot of money. I don't have a lot. I'm just a person who works full time, so I work my regular salary, and it's not even salaried, my hourly job, um, to live where I want to live. And everything. I am not by no means wealthy, but I do work full time, and when you do work full time, it allows you certain niceties. I did have like I worked at like I was a student, was broke, couldn't afford to go out or really do anything, had to plan a budget every single cent I got my hands on. I still budget, but it's not as uh, strenuous. That's what happens when you work for full time. And I work at a job that's not terrible and has pretty good uh, benefits and such. This other very, very. I like budgeting, but I'm boring, so it's easy. Yeah, it's not about being boring. It's just about being like practicality. And if you don't know your finances going in and out, you can always being have like feel like you're chasing after something or like you're unprepared, especially for emergencies or other things, which is never a fun time. So, but I do like a good Excel spreadsheet. I use every Excel every day for my job, so it's always a good time. And I'm gonna have to decide whether or not I want to get detailed in these curls, which the answer is probably gonna be a strong no. I don't feel like being bothered. And my closet is black and white t-shirts from Kohl's. Yeah, I shop at you know I don't shop at Kohl's because I don't particularly like their layout, and then I am a plus size woman, so I had to find stuff that fits me. But um, I usually get stuff on sale, or I'll buy pieces that last me for a while. Like I've had this dress for going on 6 years now. Oh, has it been 6 years? 4 years. I know how to mend and take care of my clothing and all those different things. Get a good clearance sale. I like brightly colored clothing and self expression and all of that. It's always a good time. Gotta get things in moderation and buy what you want and or need. I have a lot of art supplies, but I've accumulated this amount over a long period of time. Because also, usually art supplies doesn't really go bad like food or something. Like to favorite place to shop is like Burlington. That's always really nice. Get a good deal on a nice blouse or tops or bottoms. It was nice talking to you too. Have a great dinner. Have some good food. I like food. I'm going through here. And loosely sketching in everything. What is up with the eyes? They're always crooked. I always make them crooked. There's something I need to pay attention to. These eyes are crooked. I made it look kind of crazy, but that's okay. Yeah. She got the crazy eyes. Right here. And making little swiggles to get the texture. I'm not going to be doing individuals' hairs. We're not going to be doing that. So, this pink for the highlights here. Draw those in first. With these markers, I know that the lighter colors will pick up the darker colors. I don't want to ruin that, so that's why I'm putting it down first for some highlight. Go in with the red, color everything else in. It's not going to be perfect. I want some rhyme or reason. Kind of matching the overall form here. I think what's going to make it really pop is when I go in with this darker, more maroon. Oh, I forgot that. I really did forget that from the eye. This whole section of hair. Whoops. Take this darker color. Especially in these areas. Gives it overall more dimension. Because I have noticed when I draw or render, some of my stuff lacks contrast. So that's what I'm really trying to get myself in the habit of doing is drawing the contrast, drawing the shadows, seeing the form for what it is. If I'm in the habit when I start making my own images, there won't really be any hesitation. But there. Where I train myself to look for the shapes, the more I'm likely to draw them on my own. He has like green eyes or something. I don't know. But... I'm just gonna do one of those. And oops, drop the marker. Grab that. I'm gonna grab this gray and make it even darker here. Okay. This marker's dry too. I do use this marker a lot. Okay. Okay. Water. I barely did the trick. Ooh, doggy. Ooh, this also needs there, 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 there. Okay. Let's see. small. Mommy don't know anything at the barber shop. Doing something no hold. Ooh, daddy, daddy, if you wanna drop the addy, give me love, give me thinking, give me. Apologize for my very bad singing. I think I want to draw another pose. So put these back, and then let's find another one to draw. Okay. Need an interesting pose. Interesting pose. I want to draw. I could draw some food. Something that will fit here that won't annoy me. There's a bird. Ooh. Blue hair. The birds are kind of speaking to me. I like a good bird. Mm. Brain is indecisive, and I also need to. Oh. Yeah. do you like? Okay, I don't know. Mm. Oh yeah, people. That's interesting. It would be like that sometimes. Let's just draw a bird in the corner. Why not? And after this, I'll probably go because my hand's tired. Daddy, you want to drop the addy? Oh, that stuck in my head. Give me love, give me opinion. Drawing the major shapes first. Major shapes that make up the contours. And then going in hit the landmarks that I placed. Scroll down. I want to go through. Some of these lines. You can tell I draw a lot of birds. That was like 15 minutes compared to the other ones with more details and confidence. So that's what happens when you draw the same thing over and over and over again. You get better at it. So, yeah. Whew. I could add color to it, but I kind of like it like this. Okay. I think that's where I'm gonna call it. Because my hand is tired. Yeah. Whew. I find that drawing takes a lot more just in the I use my hands because paint it spreads and you don't have to make as many strokes to get the same amount of coverage, but drawing is also important too. You get better rendering and understanding of your subject. Your painting is only as good as the drawing underneath, you know? Okay, whew. I'm gonna call it early. I appreciate everyone hanging out with me and watch me sketch. I hope in the meantime, in between time, you grab a pen and a piece of paper yourself and tried your hand at making something today. Because that's the whole point of me being on here is you gotta create something, do something, make something for the sake of making it. So you can feel that joy. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. Just do it to do it. All right, I will see y'all on Sunday because today is Thursday. So I will see you then. Bye.